Welcome. So, about 9 days ago, Google Marketing Live 2024 happened. And boy, did it happen. So, let's rewind just a little bit. Prior to that, in March, we had this seismic shift with Google SEO. There was the helpful content update, it was the spam update, and it was a core update, and just sent earthquakes through the SEO community for Google. Then we had Google I/O a few weeks ago. And that really talks about the AI that is really coming into play with Google. And they're really spinning it as so helpful to everyone. And then 9 days ago, we had Google Marketing Live. And it's really featured about Google Ads and whoa, baby, the changes that are coming to Google Ads. They announced over 30 updates, enhancements, product additions. And they've segmented them between those that rolled out immediately on the day of Google Marketing Live, those that are coming in the next few weeks, those that are coming in the later months, and those that are coming later in 2024. So that's the timeline, how it's broken up. Now they use the term coming soon, so that kind of like doesn't give as much definition. So internally, we've labeled those as coming months. Now, how I want to look at this is I want to go by the type of Google ad product and look at them, what the changes are going to be. So there's retail and commerce ad changes, YouTube ads, app ads, Performance Max ads, lead generation ads, and even measurement and audience. Oh, and search ads. How could I forget search ads? I'm not real keen on some things that I'm seeing happening there. All right, so to help really make some sense of this, we've also outlined not only all of them, but the ones that I feel are going to be impactful. So I want to talk about those a little bit more in depth as we get to them. And for those, we have some screens that you'll be able to see. And we are going to be able to happy to send not only the video after this, but also the deck so that you'll have them for reference in the future if you find that helpful. So before we start talking about these updates, I want to mention that there's been a lot of pushback from the marketing community about these Google updates, especially for the B2B segment, because there doesn't seem to be a lot for those of us that are in the B2B ad segment. But that's okay. A smart marketer is going to be able to figure out how to leverage these enhancements to reach your audience, regardless if that's commercial, whether you're a nonprofit, a small business, a large corporation, business to business. There will be ways, not just ways, you're going to have to figure out ways to leverage these. If you don't, you're going to get beaten to market and with market share by your competitors that do. I think that's another reason why we're seeing so much pushback on this, is that we marketers, we're a salty bunch and we don't like change too much. Now, we like our A and B testing, but we don't like change. And this whole AI cliff that we're approaching and maybe have gone off, it's made some of us really feel that maybe our jobs are going to be taken, and there's some fear there and some loathing. But I don't necessarily think that's true. I think that there's always going to be the need, not just the need, it's going to be required that there's a human voice, that there's that brand voice. AI is not creative. It's never going to be creative. And that's where we come in as marketers. So take these things with a grain of salt. And as we're talking about them, I want you to think about how you can be applying them, not only in now in the coming weeks, in the coming months, and later in 2024 and 2025, but I want you to be thinking about your Q3 and your Q4 marketing calendar that you already have well set in stone because we're all good marketers and we're all ahead of the curve like that. But think about, as we're talking about these things, are there particular pieces of it that you can add into your Q3 or Q4 strategy? Also, as we're probably well underway on our 2025 planning, how can we start integrating these new products and these new enhancements? How can we start integrating them into our 2025 strategies as well? Okay, let's get started. Can I have the first slide, please? Okay, we're holding. So we're first going to talk about retail and commerce ads. Right now, there was one thing that is available, and I'm not particularly thrilled. It's a single point of entry for Merchant Center for agencies. So if you are a larger agency, you have multiple Merchant Center clients, then that will be important to you. If not, let's move on. In the coming weeks, there's going to be ad group feed filtering capabilities. There have been workarounds for that. So again, I'm not finding that to be particularly groundbreaking. In the coming months, do we have slides up? Okay. In the coming months, we have virtual brand profile on Google search. I have a lot of problems with this. So what this means is that you're going to be able to go into your Google Ads, into search for retail and commerce, go into your shop and be able to say, here's my brand, here's a picture that represents my brand. It has the right colors. We do a lot of oceans or mountains or sun flares, whatever your brand specific is. And then Google is going to say, oh, I get that. And here are matching images and matching profiles for you. Unfortunately, they're going to say, okay, well, here's your font, and here's one that's close enough. And as a brand manager, that's not going to fly. I mean, could you imagine someone saying to Coca-Cola, this font's close enough, right? No, that font is not close enough. So I do see problems with that arising. I do like the idea that you can upload an image that's representative of your brand and then have other images come in, especially when we talk about Performance Max. But I do see visual brand profiles, and especially when we get into the AI generated ads, that's where I'm really seeing some problems. And that talk about your job being important, that's going to be a big win. In the coming months, there's going to be a virtual try-on in shopping ads. That's going to start with tops for both men and women. At first, when they said that, I thought it was going to be, okay, so here's a picture of me. You turn on your camera on your phone, facing towards you, you take the picture, and you get to see what the shirt looks like. That is not what it is. So how this is going to be is that there's going to be models of supposedly every different body, style, and size, and then you're going to be able to see that top on those different body sizes. Again, I see a lot of issues coming with that. Someone is always going to be unhappy and say that their body size was not represented. I think that's going to be a landmine, so tread very carefully on that. Next, we have the 360-degree view in shopping ads. This is going to be a really great option. It's starting with shoes and perfect product to do this with. Google is saying that you only need to upload a few photos and Google will take it from there. What I'm saying is that it has a great opportunity, but it's going to need to be babysat to make sure that 360-degree image that Google is going to build is actually representative of your product. Shoes is great to start with, but when we get past that, we are really going to have to keep an eye on it. Last, we have profit optimization goal in smart bidding. That one to me is very exciting. For that, you're able to tell, so say you're selling Ray-Ban sunglasses, and that's what's in your commerce, for your commerce ads. And there's one model that you have a $20 profit. There's another Ray-Ban model that you have a $25 profit. So Google's saying, hey, tell us what your profit is on these, and we will optimize your ad for that profit optimization. Now, there are some naysayers that are in the marketing world that's saying that Google's just saying that so they can know how much to charge for those costs per click. I am not saying that that's not behind this, but I am saying that if it is real and if it is profit optimization as a goal, and they use that information transparently, that can be a really positive benefit for anyone doing those retail and commerce ads. There were several other announcements for the coming months. I am not particularly amazed by them, but let's go over them quickly. So you can tailor promotions and shopping ads for loyalty program members. So in other words, if you have a loyalty program, you're able to really specify that for your loyalty, your promotions for them in particular. There are actionable performance insights in the Merchant Center next with Google AI. That is there. I don't see that as a huge step forward. Automatic update bids in the app campaign based on your promotional events. I like to have hands-on, especially for promotional events, and I don't think I would want those to be automatically updated. Can we have our next slide, please? Later in 2024, what we can expect for retail and commerce ads are Product Studio will allow users to transform their static photos into videos. I think that's going to be a really good thing. So using Product Studio, say you have 3 or 4 images, Google's going to be able to take those images and turn them into an animated video. I think that does have some really good uses, especially when we're talking about Performance Max and we want to really extend those asset categories. Next, we have video highlights in shopping ads. I think that's really important. We're going to be able to incorporate those videos that we can make in Product Studio and then put them over into our shopping ads. In addition to that, if you're doing a demand gen ad with your retail and commerce, you can also include almost like a storytelling component to it. So you can have customer feedback and reviews. You can have snippets of video and product information. So I really do like that piece of it. Next, we have dynamic sale pricing in shopping ads. This very much reminds me of Uber demand pricing, that, hey, if more people want it, then we're just going to raise that price. I think there's going to be a lot of pushback on that from consumers. Be very careful if you do decide to take a look at the dynamic pricing. Next, we have category level performance insight and demand trends with competitive benchmarks. The category level performance insights we've not had asset level, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. But what I like about this is that we're going to have that with those competitive benchmarks. I think that could be somewhat valuable, maybe not as valuable as the other things, but it's worth looking at. There's also, later in 2024, our last item for retail and commerce, I do not have highlighted, but it's the feature new customer pricing in shopping ads. So that's very similar to both dynamic pricing and the loyalty pricing. This would be new customer pricing in shopping ads. So I think that does have some value, especially when we're going to look here in a little bit about in our Performance Max that we're going to be able to have redeemable coupons. To me, that will kind of go with the new customer. Okay, next slide. Let's talk about YouTube ads. We will now be able to see where YouTube ads appears in Shorts. Big one. This has been needed. So that to me is an immediate win. That's low-hanging fruit. We will be able to see where our ads are appearing, our YouTube ads are appearing in Shorts. In the coming months, we're going to be able to have stickers for our Shorts ads. What does that remind you of? Does that make you think of anything? In addition, you're going to be able to swipe to get to a landing page for the short ad, or you're going to be able to double tap to like it. And then later in 2024, that's going to be expanded so into an actual affiliate shopping program. Okay, let's think about this. What exactly does this remind us of? Well, it's pieces of Instagram shopping, and it also sounds a little similar to TikTok shops. So, is this Google's idea that if TikTok goes the way of the dodo in the United States, is this how they're going to be stepping in to fill that void? I personally do not feel that that's going to happen, but regardless, I do feel that this is their way to compete with both Instagram shopping as well as TikTok. So I'm interested to see where that goes. All right, next we have our app ads. I think we have one more slide to get to the app ads. All right, available now, we have our link audience list to app campaigns. To me, that's another game changer. We're now able to use our audience list to be able to segment and have that targeted audience. In addition, now there are several others that I do not feel are of really a particular tremendous benefit, but they are. You can showcase your products on Discovery inventory with app campaigns. Now, again, I'm not saying across all of Discovery, I'm saying that this is for an app campaign. So Discovery is still part of our demand gen ads. So I think it's such a small part that this does not excite me like the other things do. You can feature your promotion assets within an app campaign ad. Yeah, okay, it's well overdue. The SK ad network enhancements, we've needed those. You can integrate the SK ad network, the conversion values. We're going to have more control over those for our Google ads, very much needed. Somewhat interesting is geo-based control experiments to measure incremental ROI for app ads and campaigns. I think that if you particularly are doing geolocation targeting and A/B testing, then that can be beneficial. In the coming months for our app ads, there is a web to app connect for videos and hotels for demand generation ads. I think that has some possibility, but I am reserving my judgment until I actually get to see how that works. Later, if we can have the next screen, please, later in 2024, we'll be able to benchmark performance against similar businesses in our Google Analytics 4. Can we have the next slide, please? And I think that is really a big win. I think we went one slide too much, so you're just going to have to trust me on this. So that benchmarking performance in our Google Analytics 4 has been really lacking. And the fact that it's going to benchmark us against similar businesses, this is where you're really going to need to step in and make sure that you're letting Google know who your similar organizations are and giving them a really good feel of who to pull in for that benchmarking. So next we have our Performance Max ads. If you could go back one, there we go. No, we need to go back one more to the now. There we go, available now. So available now, we have feature we can, in our ad campaigns, we can feature redeemable coupons. I got a lot to say about this. So right now, if you have an e-commerce site, you know, just as well as I do, that as soon as someone goes to check out and they see that promo box, do you have a promo code? What are they doing? They're going to Google and they're doing a search. This just happened to me for Rothy. And I'm sitting there Googling Rothy promo code. Where does it take me? It takes me to Retail Me Not. So I go over to Retail Me Not and there's a coupon code, but you have to click from there to go over to Rothy because they're an affiliate. And I get my coupon code, I get my money off, and then Rothy has to pay Retail Me Not, their affiliate marketing, because they're an affiliate, they have to pay them for that lead. Well, this is going to be able to subvert that entire system. People aren't going to have to be able to go and look for that promotion code. If you are going to offer a promotion code, put it right there as a redeemable coupon in your Performance Max ads. This does not just apply to e-commerce. Anytime that you're asking a visitor to check out and you're offering any type of a promotional code or a coupon code or anything redeemable, this will be a huge way. And I don't want to take traffic away from the coupon sites, but that's better for you to not have to pay that affiliate when you're offering the coupon code anyway. So having that right there as a redeemable coupon as part of your ad that's going to show up on Google, that is definitely going to be a game changer. In the coming weeks, we're going to have the ability to add and remove objects, extend backgrounds, and adjust images. So say you've got a sofa against a wall, and see my beautiful picture behind me. Say that it doesn't match the color of the sofa that you want to highlight because that's what you sell. You're able to remove something from the back of that wall. You're able to add a different image. You're able to expand that background. Where this is really going to come into play is having those different size assets that are so important to have in those Performance Max ads. You'll be able to have the horizontal, the vertical, the square, and be able to do that with those AIs to extend those backgrounds and fill those empty spaces. If we can have our next slide, please. In the coming months, we have improved image generation technology for both Performance Max and Demand Gen campaigns, very similar to what I just said with the add and remove objects. This also takes us back to the very beginning when we were discussing about what that would look like for uploading our brand standard and some brand images. So if you can upload an image of your product or an image that is associated with your service or your brand standard, we'll be able to expand on those AI generated images to be able to use in our Performance Max campaigns as well as our Demand Gen campaigns. Next, we have enhanced reporting for YouTube videos. So needed. As I understand it, we're also going to be able to pin for our YouTube videos. We'll be able to pin that particular assets should not be in. Let me back up. So say you're working with a creator who has a YouTube channel and you want to pin it so that a particular ad only shows on their YouTube channel. You're going to be able to have the ability to do that. And there are workarounds right now, but it's going to be much more straightforward. Placement reporting, very important to have that for our YouTube videos. I mentioned earlier, asset level reporting is a big deal. That has so been needed for our Performance Max ads. So we're going to be able to know actually which of our assets perform the best for conversions, for click-throughs, and we're going to be able to then use that information and be able to generate more images that match what convert the best. There's also some conversion lift studies. I'm not particularly keen on that. May I have the next slide, please? By the end of the year, we'll be able to provide Google with our brand guidelines for AI. And this is where I've got a huge problem. So this is for the Google AI that comes up when you're now Googling something, and at the very top of the screen, you will be able to do ads that go in above that, below it. Here's my problem. Say you are Gatorade. When you think of Gatorade, they have a lemon lime drink, right? Well, there are some ghosts in the machine around here at Google, not here. And within the last week, if you Googled how to get rid of a kidney stone quickly, you were presented with an AI reply that said you should drink 2 liters of urine a day. Not joking. That is what the Google AI replied what you should do. It also said as part of that lemon lime sodas and drinks were good. My concern, if I'm Gatorade, I have that lemon lime drink, and if I am doing AI generated ads in my brand guidelines, that they're then going to show my lemon lime Gatorade, and it's going to be associated with, say it with me, drinking urine. That's not going to be on brand. That's not going to be a win, and that's not good. Your jobs are safe, people. Really. So I have problems with that. And that also brings me back to, how do I know that you're going to be using the right fonts and the right colors? We put a lot into our brand standards. There's going to be a lot of problems with this until they get those bugs worked out. And even then, I would be very cautious about it. There is going to be experimentation to test the impact of adding more creative assets in our Performance Max. So right now, nobody really knows how many assets should you have on a Performance Max campaign. We're finally going to have that data available to us. There's going to be collaborative access across Google Ads and third-party creative platforms. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Because what do most of us use? We use the Adobe Suite. Well, sorry, we're talking about those 3 as Canva, and 2 other ones that totally escape me because I don't use them. So Canva is great for its particular purposes, but for a professional total campaign, 360-degree campaign, I would challenge someone to tell me that they're going to be using Canva. So if you do, then that will be of benefit to you. All right, next are our search ads. In the our search ads available in the coming weeks, we're going to be able to have those AI-powered experiences. That brings me back to my Gatorade. That's going to be the same thing. I'm worried about that. So even on search ads, if I was Gatorade, I would be scared. Be very careful about using the AI-powered experiences for your search ads. In the coming months, we have shopping ads will be at the top and bottom of the visual search results. And those are for when the searcher is using Google Lens or Google Circle. I love this. Pinterest has had it for quite some time. Instagram has it. We work with a company that she makes clear stadium bags. So a rule for going into a stadium right now is you can't take in a regular handbag. You have to have a clear bag. It has to meet certain size parameters. So say I'm going to a Phillies game and I'm getting ready to walk in, but I didn't get that memo. So I've got a non-clear bag, and I get held up at security because they have to go through my bag and it's this hassle. Hey, why did that person right in front of me, she just got to go right through it because she had a clear bag? Well, now I can take my phone, take my camera, take a really quick picture of her bag and do a Google search with it, and ready bags could come up and we would have the opportunity to purchase it right there. Now, is it going to get to us while we're standing in line? It is not. But this brings me to my next point on this. If you're going to be offering the shopping ads, retail and commerce ads, where you're going to be matching lens and circle imagery, I highly suggest that you have an infrastructure in place where you're able to deliver just in time. That's going to be huge and going to be key. You also have to think about how you're going to handle returns. Why do we all shop at Amazon? Because you can get it the next day or within 2 days. And because returns, you can take them to Kohl's, you can take them to the UPS store, and it doesn't cost anything. So that's going to be a challenge for our retailers. How are we going to figure out that just-in-time delivery? How are you going to figure out returns so that your customers feel confident in making those split decision as I want it, not necessarily need it, when they see something like that? We also have performance reporting for YouTube videos for our Performance Max, very well needed. We mentioned that earlier. And asset level reporting. No, sorry, we're in search ads. That's why we reported it. That's why we talked about it earlier, because I'm one above. Okay, back to our search ads. We have search and shopping ads in our AI overviews. That's very similar to them also being via image. I think that that's going to be okay for its shopping. If someone types in size large blue long sleeve cotton sweater, you want to come up for that. That brings me to my next point. Long tail key phrases have come back into vogue. That's where we started. But then Google let us know that no, we wanted to go to short tail because people don't like to type in words. Well, with as many billions of pages as Google now has crawled and spidered, we now have to go back to those long tail key phrases to find what we're looking for. Because if I just say blue sweater, there's going to be way too many options. So make sure that you're optimizing both your ads and your web pages for long tail keywords, because that's what people are going to now be going back to. All right, our next one is our demand gen ads in the coming weeks. We have animated image ads for demand gen campaigns in YouTube Shorts. Similar to being able to put stickers on it, these are going to be animated images. So if you upload 2 or 3 images, Google is going to be able to turn them into that video for you and animate them. And I think that that's going to be very Instagram similar. Again, I think they're trying to take a little bit of that market share. You're going to also, this to me is the big one. This is the drum roll. For demand gen ads, we're going to be able to do lookalike segments with a minimum required audience list of 100 users. That's down from 1,000, 1/10 of where it was. Why is this important? Having the ability to upload that list of only 100 users and then have Google be able to create those lookalike audiences, whether they're in market or demographics, that is a huge win for smaller organizations and has been very sorely lacking. So I'm super excited about that, and I can't wait to get started with some of our smaller clients in doing that. Coming in the next few months, I'm not particularly gaga about it. It's only about demand gen campaigns. We'll be rolling out to display and video 360 and search ads 360. So if you do use that, you have, I'm assuming, your own Google rep, and they can talk to you about that. Our last section is our measurements and audiences. Immediately now, we're available is to import non-Google campaign data into our analytics. That's going to give us a way better 360-degree look at what our campaign is doing. Being able to know what our analytics look from all of our pieces, huge. Up to this point, we've had to use a third party and import our Google information over into that. I really like that will be under one roof. However, the more information you give Google, you just never know what they're going to do with it. So a little bit of caution there. The AI Essentials category is going to now show up on the recommendations page. Keep an eye on that. In the coming months, there's going to be generated insights in Google Analytics. So I might have shared in the past 30 minutes that I have some trepidation about that Google AI search and those Google Insights related to it. So keep an eye on the analytics for that if you're showing up there for any of those generated searches, whether you're paying for it by ads or not. Do keep an eye on that. There are a few other things coming. There are more diagnostics, more helpers. There's going to be a new customer acquisition goal. There's going to be cross-channel budgeting over in Google Analytics. So those are really more on our measurements, and they're not really those big bangs like we've talked about. And I think that's it for the slides. So there's a lot. There's a lot. I thought the SEO updates was big. Well, that's nothing compared to this. So like I said at the beginning, some marketers, a lot of marketers, there's a lot of pushback on this, especially for those that are B2B. But I did say that there's going to be opportunities across all of this. We work with a lot of B2B companies. So not only are we, Epic Marketing, a B2B company, but we work with B2B companies. Not exclusively, but some. So we thought about how we're going to be able to do this. So one of our clients provides replacement pieces for commercial buildings. How cool will that be if a potential client who's had a devastating storm come through, they can take a picture of the piece that they need to have replaced and Google that picture, and here comes that replacement, an ad for that replacement piece. So there are opportunities. It's our job to figure out how we're going to leverage these enhancements, these changes, and how we're going to do it. If you need some help, I think I can help, maybe, but please reach out. So do we have any questions? I know we covered a lot. We don't have any questions, and I think we are almost at time. So I'm going to give it another minute because there's a lot there. If anyone does have any questions. If not, everyone, it has been my pleasure to be with you here today. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you found it useful. We will be sending out the video as well as the slides so that you'll have them. We have a blog piece on Epic right now that has a overview, and over the next week or so, as new things get rolled out, we're going to go in depth onto each one of these so that you can get our hands-on experience as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks.